Yesterday I had one of my employees come in and we spent a little bit of time talking about basically how to refine our approach, how to talk to guys, especially here in Utah, about why it's worth investing in a higher quality suit. And as we were talking about this, one of the things that came up in our conversation was basically how bad the default of most men is. My employee Nate was telling me about how whenever he and his wife go over to hang out with their friends, even if it's just on a Sunday and they're going over to watch something on Netflix or whatever, the vast majority of the time the people who are there are defaulting to this standard where what they're communicating is that their top concern is comfort. And I get that on a Sunday, I don't have a problem with that. But he said that that's pretty much the default that these men communicate all the time. You see guys and they go around in clothing that it's really only designed to be comfortable, with no concern for how it looks, no concern for what's communicated by it, and they just want it to be comfortable. Again, there's a time and a place for that, but that shouldn't be the default. I want you to kind of do a mental experiment for me. I want you to pause the video for 10 seconds, and while it's paused, I want you to think about what are the words that you would use to define yourself. And then if you don't like what those words are, take another 10 seconds and think about what are the words that you would like to use to define yourself if you're not where you want to be. So pause and think about it for a second. Now that you're back, I want you to take some time and think about what you're wearing right now. Take a look at what you're wearing, and if I were to see you across the street from my shop just walking by, would I, based on your clothing, define you the same way that you aspire to be defined? If not, why? What's the problem? Why is your style telling a different story than what you actually should be telling or want to be telling? Why is it lying about who you are or lying about who it is that you want to become and who it is that you aspire to be? Now, if you think that that's not that big of a deal, you're wrong, because yeah, absolutely, people should be judging you based on your character and they should be paying attention to these things that are infinitely more important. But if I see you across the street, I don't know anything about you. I don't know anything about who you are, where you're from, what you do, what you aspire to be, how far you've come from where you were. I don't know any of that. All I know is what I can assess based on what you look like. Within that split second, I can decide whether or not I believe you're somebody that's worth my time to get to know. Have I been wrong in the past? Absolutely, of course I have. There have been plenty of times where I've thought this guy seems interesting or this guy seems like he would be in my tribe. We share some similarities based on what he's wearing, and then I come to find out he's not. Vice versa, I'm sure there are plenty of men that I have passed over as not worthy of my time or not somebody who I really thought that I would get along with because they dressed in a way that was different. But again, what you want to do is think about what your default is. Think about what you're consistently communicating and use that to your advantage. Don't just default to comfort because that's what you're used to. Don't just get stuck in this trap of inertia. Well, that's the way I've always done things. Deliberately approach your style in a way that you communicate what you want it to, you communicate what you are, what you aspire to be, and then use that as a way to network with other people who can get you to where you want to be. We talk about this over and over and over again. I will continue to hammer on this over and over and over again because it's so important. But your style is one tool that you should have in your toolbox that helps you accomplish much more important goals in your life. It should help you with your career goals. It should help you with your family and your love life goals. It should help you with your networking and your tribe goals. It should help you with everything it is that you try to do. And if it's not helping you, then you're wasting an opportunity because it's so easy to get a really good payoff on what this stuff is. So think about what your default is. Think about what you're deliberately communicating. And if you don't like what it is, get better at it. I'll catch you guys next time.